to connect to those people that I see that I could collaborate with, that I can help serve. How can I support them? And I thought I'd talk about what I've noticed over the last few really wonderful, rich conversations I've had over the last few days about how do people decide. Now, it doesn't matter the price point. Price is important, absolutely important. But what I wanted to talk to you about was, what is the things that go through your mind and how do you make a really good decision? The first thing to be mindful of is when you're making decisions, you need data, right? You need the information to make sure that you can make a well-informed decision. Now, over the last week or so, I've been talking to people about making decisions about investing in themselves. And it just happens to have been those conversations that I've been having of late, because that's what I do. I help people work on themselves. And it was interesting to understand, look, if I give you a scenario, I'm not going to disclose any names because it's important that I retain their privacy. But what I noticed, this was a conversation around entering into some higher education opportunities. And, it's always good to give them data, give them information. But one of the things that I wanted to know was why. Why was it something they were thinking about, and what research had they done first? So the really interesting thing about this particular person is they'd actually done some research and they had data at hand. So they knew what our competitors were doing. They knew what was available on offer. And I think that's a really important piece to remember, is that your customer has never been so well informed. They have data. They can go do the Dr. Google thing and find out all the information that they possibly can. The downside of that, of what I noticed, was a comment that this person made was, oh, thank goodness, I can actually talk to somebody to walk through what my options are. So that can be the downside of doing the Googling thing, is that you can be flooded with information, and what you don't necessarily have clarity of is it current? Is it real? Is it speaking to you? Is it relevant to your industry, your country? Is it a really old piece of information? So you've got to check the quality of the data. But the other layer to that is, and I found this in searching for various things that I want to buy, for example, is that it can be really hard to find a phone number on somebody's website, to pick up the phone and be able to simply ask them the question. I am certainly somebody who likes to Google and search and look for the solutions myself. I want to go and look at the reviews. I want to go and look at what things look like, how they're going to impact me, what value they're going to bring to me personally or my business, depending on what I'm buying. But there will come a time that I want to pick up the phone and ask a question. And do you know what's really interesting and fascinating is that the number of times I've not been able to find a phone number. All I could find was on the Contact Us on their website is put in your name, phone number and email address. Well, sometimes that's what I have to resort to, so I will do that. And that they think they're contacting me for a different reason to what I'm asking for connection with. But so I guess one key tip here for you as business owners, if you're listening to this, or leaders in business, make sure you're accessible. Make sure your customers can reach you and talk to you. I physically noticed the relief on this person's face when she said, oh, finally, I can just talk to somebody about this. I always enter these conversations with, how can I serve? What are you looking for? What information do you need to make a really well-informed decision? And you know what? It's okay if it's not me today, or maybe ever. But for me, it's about, can I bring you value in this conversation that I can help you to make a well-informed decision? And if that well-informed decision is no or not yet, that's okay, because that's their circumstance for now. And so let's think about when you're making decisions about things that you are choosing to investigate, whether it's for you personally, in your role, wherever you're going. What are the things you're doing to make sure you've got the data and the information? Because whatever that thing is, whether it's a renovation at the house, it's a simple little purchase for the home, or it's a purchase for your own self-development or for your business, you need to have the data. So the first thing you should do is go and do some research. What can you find out there that can give you some relevant current data? You make a note of however that needs to be. Are you price driven? think about this. Are you price driven? This person that I was talking to yesterday, she, as I said, she'd done all her research. Very, very interestingly, when she made her decision, it was not driven by price. She didn't go for the cheapest. She didn't go for the most expensive. She went for what was going to resolve her pain point, was going to give her a return on investment of her time and her money, and she was looking for the experience. So be really, really mindful of that when you are delivering to helping your customers decide. Know what experience you're bringing. Know the value that you bring to your customers. But, let's take it back a bit. This is about how do you make decisions? Do the research. Know what you're looking for. Know the output that you're looking for. Can you actually articulate, I need a solution to do this? Are you really clear about that? And most often you are. But do you have the rest of the data? Do you understand what experience you're going to experience? Do you know what value it's going to bring you? Are there any value adds that are going to be coming your way? In other words, what is the return on investment in time, effort, money, value, experience? Are you doing the research to get all the data? And if you're somebody who's procrastinating on your decision, I would suggest maybe you don't have all the data that you need to make a good, well-informed decision. So let's flip it. What are you doing to help your customers to make a really well-informed decision? Do you make yourself accessible? Can they contact you? Is your phone number on the site? Now, if you're going, whoa, I'm going to get so many phone calls. Well, wow, what a quality problem that is. There are ways to manage that, right? You can get 1-300 numbers, 1-800 numbers, all those sort of things. You can get answering services to look after you and those leads coming in to have a conversation with them. So set an appointment with yourself. There are so many ways. Don't make the fear of being overwhelmed with inquiries, quality problem, as I said, by stopping you by making your phone number and you accessible. If you don't want to give your private, your personal mobile number, get a 1-300 number, a landline, or something. Get something that they can reach out to you and connect with you. But be really, really, really mindful of this. What is the experience your customer's going to experience when they do pick up that phone and call you? Have you got people who know how to answer the phone properly? All that part adds to the data they need to know that they can make a well-informed decision. And as I said, what I know works for me is I make my phone numbers on my website. It's there all the time. I am more than happy to have a conversation with a prospect, to do some free mentoring for 30 minutes or so. Invariably, it goes longer because it just becomes a really rich and exciting conversation. And I am more than happy to do that personally while I am able. And there will come a time that I will become so busy that that's not possible. But you know what? I will have put the systems, the processes, know the customer experience I want my customer to experience, for them to know that it doesn't matter whether it's me or somebody else taking that call. They are going to experience what I want them to experience so they can make a well-informed decision. So that's pretty much my little rant for today. What have I gone for? Nearly 9 minutes. That's cool. I'm happy with that. So what are you doing to help you decide, not procrastinate, but then flip it? What are you doing to help your customers decide? Now, your customers could be suppliers, your team, your actual customers in the business that you have. What are you doing to help them decide? So think about, what do you need to decide when you are purchasing? So what are you doing to make sure that your customers can have that experience too? That's pretty much it. You have an awesome day. I will be back here next Tuesday. You have a fabulous day.